This video is designed to help people in a situation where they're finding it hard to establish a hedge due to waterlogging, poor ground, damp ground, or perhaps an area where there has been a hedge already, perhaps there was damage in the frost. It's quite easy to cut the hedge to stump, but digging the stumps can pose quite a difficulty. And this method we hope will provide people with an easy solution to getting the ground raised. So this is the garden we were working on in Castlebar town. Typical of a housing estate garden, the ground is extremely hard. The clay was scarce and we found that the lawn was continuously wet. But unfortunately, it being a town garden and surrounded by four walls, there really was no place for us to drain the ground to. So we had to come up with another method, and in this case we decided to raise the ground. So it's just a matter of getting our hands on some boulders, approximately 1 foot by 1 foot, whatever you have to work with, building them in a straight line and filling the ground then with good quality topsoil. In this case here in this picture you can see that the ground actually used flow towards the wall, and where that hedge is established there to use actually continuously be a pool of water. The lawn that you can see from front of it, which in my eyes looks very, very healthy, we couldn't actually get it to grow right, but as we got the hedge to establish, the hedge started to use up the water and hence it actually drained the ground for us, which since has made the lawn much more user friendly. This same method can also be used to avoid the trouble of having to dig stumps of dead hedges out of the ground. Simply raising it a foot above the ground, putting in some nice quality topsoil in on top, but the hedge gets to establish, and by the time the hedge has to tap into the roots where the old hedge has been, they will do so quite easily. But also I think you'll agree with me that let alone does this solve the problem, it also makes quite a nice feature out of the garden. And as you can see, we interplanted between the stones with some arabis. You could also use arboretus, saxifrage or phlox, and in springtime, which I hope to put a picture up in springtime, it gives such a super display. I'm sure a lot of you are looking at this saying, look, this just isn't practical for us. We don't have the stones, we don't have the time to get the stones. But here is a cheaper solution. Basically what it is there, where you can see on the right hand side of the photo against the tunnel, where we dug a trench roughly 1 foot wide by 1 foot deep. We put the contents of the trench up onto the mound on the left where we planted the laurel into. And as you can see there, after a heavy night's rain, the water is subsiding in the drain rather than on top of the soil, which has given enough drainage for the laurel to get their roots established. So the whole theory behind this is just to raise the ground above the water table. You can also use railway sleepers or planks of timber to do this method, whichever one is suitable to you. But as I say, the whole theory is just to basically raise the water table so that the roots don't rot in the ground and the hedge becomes established successfully. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.